Hi, my name is Brandy Horn. I'm an instruction and reference librarian at the Greg Grant of the Library. If you were in Dr. Britton's class the other day, when Professor O'Connor was presenting library instruction, you may have heard me kind of pipe up and contribute a couple times. I was lurking in the background. It was completely my fault that I did not press record on the class session. And so to make up for that, to make up for my oversight, I'm contributing part 2 of this video series. In this particular video, we're going to talk a little bit about the assignment. We're going to look at the worksheet that you're going to turn into your professor, and we are going to look at some of the library resources where you will find information on your topic. And then the third video will pick up and look at things like library databases where you can find information. So starting off, we are going to look at the assignment. It's always important for you when you get a new assignment to make sure that you understand what the requirements are, what the parameters are, so that when you start working, you know what you're doing and you're doing the right thing and you're not spending a bunch of time and energy creating something that isn't going to fulfill the assignment. So anytime you have a new assignment, read through it, make sure you understand it. You don't want to wait till 2-3 days before the assignment's due before you look at it, because at that point, if you don't understand something, you don't want to admit to your professor that you're just now starting, or midnight the night before where no one is awake to be able to help you. So just very quickly, we're going to hit the high points. You're working on a research paper about a particular leader of your own choosing, someone that you're interested in exploring, so that you can kind of explore different characteristics of their leadership. The paper is going to be 8 to 12 pages long. You're going to have at least 6 sources, right? It says a minimum of 6 sources, so that means you can have more. You're not limited to just 6. As far as paper formatting, that will depend on the citation style that you end up using, and the citation style will be dictated by your specific discipline or whatever makes the most sense for the particular person that you've chosen for your topic. So more in the area of like the humanities, which is going to be art and literature and that kind of thing. MLA makes the most sense. And then in the social sciences, things like social sciences and business and nursing and things like that, APA makes the most sense. And so once you've determined your citation style, that will dictate your paper formatting as well. You have a proposal and outline due on February 7th, and then you also have a final paper due on April 24th, okay? Again, your assignment sheet, which your professor has given you, gives you the details of the assignment. If anything is unclear, by all means, go and ask her questions. So let's move that out of the way. And let's talk about, let's take a look at the worksheet. Now, in the previous video, Professor O'Connor showed you how to get to the course guide that she made for you. On the library's homepage, in the center box, if we click Research Guides, we can then, this link right here that says View Course Guides, we can click that. And under that, we have the Leadership and Management Guide. Okay. When you click on the Leadership and Management Guide, it takes you to a Getting Started page, like the home page for the guide. If you look down here, we have a couple of different copies of the worksheet. If you go ahead and click on the Word version, it's a Word document. You'll be able to fill it out on your computer. You also have a PDF if you would like to view that instead. But the Word version, let's get that over here. The Word version will be fillable. You can just type into it if you need to. Okay, so the purpose of this worksheet is to walk you through the steps of the research process. And as you go through the steps of the process, we notice the first 3 steps: identifying your topic, exploring your topic, and identifying potential search terms. As you work through these steps, this will help prepare you to search in the library resources. So when you're searching in the catalog, when you're searching in databases, you will be able to search more effectively and more efficiently if you go through these steps first, right? If you just jump in and start typing words willy-nilly, you're just going to get frustrated with yourself, okay? So it's important to engage in the research process as we present it. Now, there's a good chance with this being an upper level business course that you have seen these kinds of things before from us. If you've had library instruction, if you've had critical inquiry, we've introduced you to this research process. We've shown you how it can be adapted to different types of research and different types of assignments. But it's important to have that repetition and to have that reinforcement because we want you to understand that research is a process. There are multiple steps, and that you will be more successful if you engage in the process as we present it. So this worksheet is to help you do that. You're going to complete this worksheet and you're going to turn it into your professor. So taking a look at the worksheet, the first step of the research process obviously is identifying your topic, right? So if you have a person in mind that you're interested in, you can write them down. There's a note here on the worksheet, consult the name index in your textbook, pages 440 to 441, to see if there's a person listed there that you're interested in. If there's someone that you are interested in that's not listed there, by all means, run that by your professor and see if they approve. And then go forth and do what you will with it. And then also talk about why you're selecting that leader, what interests you most about them. Right? So under number 1, we're choosing our topic. So we're choosing our leader that we want to talk about, and we're explaining why. The second step of the research process is to explore your topic. Okay, and this can take a couple different forms. If you're dealing with a topic that you don't know much about, maybe you've heard of this person, but you don't really know anything about them, you can Google them, you can read a Wikipedia entry, you can go to their company or corporation's website and see if there is a biography page on them. Look and see what you can just find randomly online. And this will help you to kind of better understand who this person is, what they've done, different projects that they've led and that kind of thing, right? You can take notes in the space. If you're dealing with someone that you do know something about, like you're very familiar with them, then you can use the space to brainstorm instead. What do you know about this particular person? What do you associate with them? What do you think you know? What do you not know? Any questions that you have? Anything that comes to mind, right? Particular things that Professor O'Connor has included on here for you to write down. What is this leader's specific title? Because that can vary. And then what organizations, products, services, or accomplishments is the leader affiliated with? Brainstorm or look up everything you know about your leader and then write these things down. Once you've gone through steps 1 and 2, identifying your topic and exploring your topic, then you can look at what you have and then begin to pick out those key concepts, those things that you would want to explore more fully. You want to research, like you want to find information or articles to use as sources in your paper to talk about, right? Identify those key concepts, circle them, underline them, whatever, and then write them down, okay? Because what we're doing here is we're identifying potential search terms that you would use in the catalog and the databases to find information, okay? So obviously you have your leader's name, potentially their title could be a search term, but the company that they're associated with, the product that they're associated with, particular maybe advertising campaigns, maybe things that have happened, crises, events, all of these different things could be potential search terms. They could be things that you would explore and look for information on, right? That you would find sources for, right? Once you identify these things, it's important to sit down and think, okay, what combinations of search terms might I use to find information that will help me with my paper? Okay. And so under number 3, identifying search terms and search combinations. Right? So you can type in here the different words that you've identified, the different concepts, but then start thinking about combinations of search terms. So she gives you some examples. Like, let's say you choose Henry Ford. You could just search Henry Ford and see what information you find. But if you want specifically information on Henry Ford and his leadership style, you would probably want to combine Henry Ford, right? That would be in the first search box, and leadership would be in the second search box. And then you see what sources you get. And then once you've gone through and see what's there, or maybe there's too much and you need to narrow it down more specifically, maybe you do another search for Henry Ford, Ford Motor Company, and leadership. Now, it may be important for you to include the company name because there could be multiple people with that name, and perhaps you're getting results that are irrelevant, right? So maybe for our second search, we do Henry Ford, Ford Motor Company, and leadership. And then for another search, right, because each line is a specific search, Henry Ford, automobile, planning or strategy, right? So we're going through and we're trying to find different ways to explore this concept of leadership with Henry Ford, right? And you can look at the different kinds of things that she has here for examples. And then she provides you a blank table where you can do your own search term combinations. You're not limited to just 6. You can do as many as you come up with, right? So after you've identified the concepts that you've written down, you could go through and combine different search terms to see which searches you're going to launch into in the catalog and in the databases. She has down here information on citation style. And then we'll show you, I think in the third video, how to access the citation resources that are available to you through the library. And then as we go down, finding articles in the databases. So I'm going to show you ebooks, and then the third video will talk about finding articles in the databases. Right, so this worksheet is a guide for you. And again, you will complete this. Now, as you search, you need to find at least one article, right? And you will email that article to yourself. And down here under number 7, find one article on your topic or leader from the library's databases and email the article to yourself with the citation and then to your university email address. Use the library citation resources for MLA APA to correct the citation and then paste or write it into the space below. Okay, so you're completing this worksheet. You're going to turn it into your professor kind of as proof of concept or to see where you are as far as like being able to find an article, email it to yourself, and then be able to produce a correct citation. You're going to include that information here. Okay, as you will see, citation tools within the catalog and within the databases often provide flawed citations. There are usually errors in them. So it's important that you keep that in mind and that you fix them as you see them. You fix the errors as you see them before you turn it in. Okay, so you'll complete this worksheet and submit it to your professor. I'm going to move this off to the side and we are going to look at the course guide. All right, so looking at the course guide, we got the worksheets from the main page. If you have not chosen a topic yet, if you don't know which leader you want to talk about, a couple of things here under the topic tab, right? This is going to kind of walk you through some steps. Under the topic tab, what topic interests you, and then a couple places where you can find general biographical information. American National Biography Online is one resource that we have available to us. You can type in your person's name. Let's say I'm interested in Henry Ford. And we get 4 entries here on Henry Ford. And you can click. And this is an image, right? So you have that. But then here we have article. And you're going to get some general information about Henry Ford, right? So this will help you kind of decide, are you interested in him? And give you some of that background information that could be helpful to you in doing further research, right? So we have, again, some useful biographical information, right, that you could potentially use or that can help you kind of figure out how to focus your research. So that's one of the databases that's is available to you. And then we also have biography and context, which is the second item there. And the same concept here, right? Henry Ford. Notice that there are lots of other Henrys and whatnot, but we're going to do Henry Ford. And then we have a read more, right? And this is going to give us some background information, much like the others. But then we also have down here different types of content but we see that we have 13 biographies, 28 magazine articles, right? So we can click the biographies and then explore those, okay? So again, if you need that general biographical information, you know, even if just to help you kind of choose a person, there are some databases available to you for doing that. Now, to go further with your research, once you've identified your leader and the kind of different areas that you might be interested in, or maybe you're still not quite sure about a leader, we also have, under the Find Articles tab in the course guide, we have a search box in here that's built in for you to be able to search the catalog. And so you can go ahead and put your person's name here. I'll go ahead and show you on the library's homepage, though. This center search box, it defaults to this Books and More tab. This is our library's catalog, right? So you can also search here as well. Okay, so, and that just kind of gets us into the catalog. Up here, what I like to encourage people to use is this advanced search option. Do we see this at the top? Right, this opens us up. And actually, let me try Barack Obama and leadership. Okay. So I'm going to do Barack Obama and leadership, right? This advanced search allows us to combine search terms, and we can add extra lines if we need to. We have 143,000 results. This is going to be, it's doing articles, books, and more. So this is basically looking at everything. It's looking at articles. It's looking at everything across the databases in the catalog and in the catalog. On the left-hand side here, we can click Available Online, and that will eliminate everything from the results list that's in print, since probably the bulk of your research at this point is going to be using electronic resources. So as we go through, if we see anything here that catches our eye, maybe we're interested in this, Campaign Inc., how leadership and organization propelled Barack Obama to the White House. Maybe we're interested in that. And we see that it's available online. Okay. When we're in here, we have a description, right? Kind of a summary of the book. And then as we go further down, we see that this is available in 3 different databases, right? So we can click one, and that will take us essentially to the ebook. Now you have a couple options. It offers you the opportunity to download. Don't bother downloading. Downloading and checking out ebooks is far more complicated than should be necessary, and it's not worth the hassle when you can just view it online. So you can click Read Online, you can navigate down, and you can look at the specific chapters so that you can go to a specific chapter. Maybe you're interested in this concept of crisis, dealing with crisis, so you can click on that, and it will take you to that specific chapter. The content will be on the right, your table of contents will move to the left. Okay, if you want to search for concepts within the book, excuse me, I'm just going to go with something I know is in here, like the word campaign. It will show you over here, like all the instances where it appears, and it will highlight within the text, right? So that's a quick way for you to kind of go through the book and see if there are any concepts that you're particularly interested in, type them in and see if the book is addressing them in a way that is useful to you. You can read the context around it, okay? So ebooks are very useful and very easy to use. If you come across a book and you decide that you want that book, right? You want to use it for your paper, you can always email it to yourself, and what it will do is bring you back to this page. Or you can send yourself a permanent URL. So you can like paste it into your email and do like multiple URLs in the same email. But a stable URL, a permalink, will get you back to this page. Okay. So if you find ebooks that might be useful to you, email, permalink are the ways to kind of hold on to that more permanently. Another point I'll make here is the citation option. Again, you have some options over here, APA 7th, MLA 8th. Whatever you get from this, be sure to double check against what we have in our citation resources and make sure that everything is correct. And if there are any errors, then go ahead and fix them. Okay, so we can go back up here. We can click new search, right? So let's say Henry Ford. Maybe we're still interested in finding biographical information. We do leadership and maybe biography. So we can combine different search terms. Over here, if we want to, under material type, we can limit to books and we can click search. Now we've got 114 results. We can go through, and if anything stands out to us, we can click on that. Management innovators, the people and ideas that have shaped modern business. Perhaps this would be useful to us. Again, we have the description of the book. Again, we come down and we see that there are some options for access. Now we get ebooks from several different vendors. This has the same interface as the one we looked at before. Oh, and this one does too. Okay, that works. But most of them come from ProQuest or EBSCO. So you should probably run into like a couple of the same interfaces over and over again. But again, same thing applies. You can go down, you can choose a specific chapter, or you can just do read online. And since this is talking about multiple people and not just Henry Ford, we can type his name over here in the search. Right? But I want to show you something that's important here. We can type in Henry Ford and again, see the instances where that name appears, but notice that we're getting lots of different Henrys, Henry Viard and some other people, Henry Blair. If you want to just limit to Henry Ford, you can put quotation marks around it. And you will just get Henry Ford in your results and not all the other Henrys. The other way was just searching for the word Henry and the word Ford. In this case, when you put quotation marks around it, it searches it as a phrase. And so it'll limit to just those things in the results, right? And then it highlights within the text, okay? So again, that search within button is very, very helpful, that search within box. There's another option for, let me close out of these things. There's another option for searching that could potentially be helpful to you. And there are things called case studies. Let's see, leadership, business management. Right? And for case studies, we'll, next to where it says any field, we're going to select subject for that to make it just a little more specific. But we can do leadership, maybe business management, case studies, and maybe we're interested also specifically in like organizational change. Right? This can be as specific as you want. If you get too specific, you won't get any sources. But let's say we do leadership, business management, case studies, organizational change. And then we search that. Okay, and we have 299 results. As we go through, we'll find different books that present case studies, right? And what a case study is something that looks at a very specific instance in this case of management, like a particular problem that a company had to solve or something like that, just something that they had to work through, and kind of explaining what the issue was and how they got through it. Okay. So you can go through and you find that there are several things here, presenting case studies, that could potentially be useful to you, either in helping you choose a leader or helping you choose something to focus on or as an example, right? So how great leaders think, the art of reframing could be something that we're interested in. or seems interesting, and we can come in and see the description, and we see that they're talking about case examples of leaders like Bezos at Amazon, Schultz at Starbucks, not sure how to pronounce this guy's name, Tony at Zappos. All right, we have Ursula Burns at Xerox, Steve Jobs at Apple. So we're looking at different high profile leaders and the companies that they're in, and we're looking at particular instances that demonstrate their leadership, right? So case studies can be very useful to you in that context, okay? So in the catalog, you have access to ebooks, and ebooks can be very useful in helping you choose a topic, helping you to explore a topic, giving you kind of that foundational information to get you started, and you'll take what you learned from the books and then go into the library's databases and then look for more specific articles, okay? Think of books as covering more of top-level things and a lot more information, whereas articles are going to focus on very specific things or specific instances. All right, so far we've looked at the assignment, we've looked at the worksheet, and we've looked at the catalog. And you know how to get to the course guide for this class. The next video will pick up showing you how to access the library's databases. So enjoy that. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and that listening to me ramble for the last 27 minutes or so has not been too terribly painful. Good luck to you on this assignment, and I look forward to seeing how successful you are in your college careers going forward. All right, thank you. Have a good weekend.